So, Louis Dangle here from WrestleTalk.com, and I'm joined by Callum Newman. Callum, how are you?
Bored.
Yeah, you and me both. I think we're all getting a bit restless. How have you found not wrestling?
To be honest, I'm like one of the lucky ones because I've got the ring in my back garden, so I'm kind of getting through it. But I miss people to wrestle, so there's only so much to do on my own.
But have you spent a lot of time sort of over? When was your last match? Would it have been the David Starr match?
Yeah, that was the last one.
That was about 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Is that the longest stretch you've gone without wrestling?
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
So how has it? How has it been? How's that been? Have you found yourself getting a bit restless and bored, or are you just, as you say, practicing, doing your own thing?
Like, it's horrible because I had like all these dates saved in my phone, and I wake up in the morning, and an alarm will go off and say you had this show today. It's like, I'm just gonna cry.
Was there anyone you were particularly excited about wrestling in the next sort of, I don't know, few weeks, few months that you think has been cancelled or might be that you're particularly disappointed about?
Connor Mills at RevPro. That was one I was really looking forward to because I've known Connor for ages. Like when I first started training at Knuckle Locks, he was like the first person to kind of get me into like doing some cool stuff. And then as soon as it was announced, I was like, oh cool, let's just hope it all holds out. And then it got cancelled. And it's like, that's not good, is it?
So do you think, obviously you're at a very early stage of your career, do you think perhaps this has come at a worse time for you than someone who's midway through their career? Or do you think because you've still got a lot to learn and you can spend a lot of time watching, I don't know, old clips of people on the WWE Network or watching AEW and seeing the pros do it, do you think it's actually not come at the worst time for you?
Yeah, I think like I'm okay because constantly people tell me to slow down and rest up, and I've got so much time ahead of me. Yeah. So I think it's like okay, just about.
But and obviously we spoke about. Well, I mentioned the David Starr match. How was it being in the ring with him at that no fan show? And how was just the experience of wrestling in front of no fans? Was that something that you struggled with, or something that just sort of you did your own thing? And even when you're in the ring, do you try and ignore the crowd, or do you use them to your advantage?
Oh, it was weird because I do so much stuff. It's like everything's so heavy, and then usually like I was speaking to David about it. It's like usually you have like the crowd and you feed off of them. So when they start going, you're like, okay, cool. I've got more like gas in the tank, so I can keep going. And there's no one there, and you think, okay, I've got to keep going. And then with no crowd, you keep looking up to try and like make eye contact with someone, and you're like, no one's there. Oh my god, there's like an empty chair, like one of the ring crew.
And I presume you could hear commentary as well.
Yeah, really clear, like especially Alex.
Yeah. So was that new for you, or indie shows that are perhaps smaller venues? Can you hear the commentary there, or was it hearing him? It was like must have been a really weird experience to hear someone commentating on your match in real time.
Yeah, like I'm like whenever I was like doing something, every single time I was like, who's talking? Like I thought there was no fans. I look over, I just see Alex going mental. I'm like, oh, it's Alex. Okay, cool. And then I kept forgetting. I was like, the trading off with David. I'm like, who is talking? I don't get it.
So how was it? How was it being in the ring with him, with David?
Was it great?
Yeah.
I've been in. We done a tag match before for Frontline when Will was running it as a young lion. So it was me and one of my mates, Cam Lucia, I think he was called as a young lion, against him and Jimmy Havoc. So even that match was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we got
that sounds. I was going to say that match sounds like it's good. That it would hurt.
Yeah.
So he was very quick, David, after the match on Twitter to sort of sing your praises and I think remind people that you are very good at wrestling, obviously. But what's even more staggering is the fact you're 17. So I think Dave Meltzer said a similar thing in the Observer newsletter and radio. What's it like receiving praise from someone like Dave Meltzer, who I don't think it is unfair to suggest has probably watched more wrestling than anyone on the planet right now?
Yeah,
Probably study the careers of more people than anyone.
Yeah, like I didn't know, and one of my mates put it on like my Facebook timeline, and he just put the quote up, and I was like, thanks, like, okay, and then he sent the link. He went skip to like 7 minutes in. I was like, okay, and then hearing him say it, I was like, oh, okay, thanks. I got straight onto it. I was like, thank you so much. Like, I don't really know what to say, but thanks.
Have there been other sort of moments like that where you've sort of gone, wow, I didn't expect to perhaps have come this far this quickly? Is it just that moment, or have there been other stuff where you've sort of had to sit back, sort of pinch stuff and go, wow, this is real?
Probably when we done the Progress pre-show, and when we was Young Lions for Frontline, because Will just said to the guys in the match, he went, just keep this date free, I'm sorting something out. And was like, okay, cool, it must be like a show or something. Then he came up with Progress. And none of us really believed it until we got on the stage in the ring. We was like, well, okay, we're here. Like, it's go time. And yeah, it was crazy. And
so obviously you've worked with Will, sort of his protege. What has it been like having him as a mentor figure and someone? Obviously, I don't think it is, again, unfair to say he is top 5, if not top 3 wrestlers in the world right now. What's it like learning from him, and what have you picked up from him?
It's mental with Will. Like, he's really blunt with me. So if something's bad, he'll tell me. If something's good, he'll tell me. And sometimes I'm like, Will doesn't like me, I don't think. and then it's like, oh no, he's just like, he's telling the truth. And you think, okay, cool. And then he'll just teach me so much, like psychology, my footwork, and he'll like pick little ideas. Like the whole Prince of Pace thing came from him. Like, it's just a complete accident, because I was like, I just want something that can, because I'm really quick. And he was like, yeah, I know. I was like, all right, cool. I want to be called something. It was like the Ace of Pace or something. I was like,
that's not bad. That's not bad. I don't mind that.
Yeah, but like, he was like, don't do that. I was like, don't do that. And I was like, why? He was like, because you haven't earned it. I was like, what do you mean? He went, it goes Prince. It was something like Prince, King, then an Ace. I was like, okay. He went, oh, that's it, Prince of Pace, then work up. I was like, okay, right, okay. Let's see how that goes then.
Yeah.
So and then he says, just like, well, you'll earn it.
Yeah, have you been in the ring with him?
Only in a tag match. It was me and him versus Shah Samuels and Rob Lynch at Project W.
Okay.
And then when I was like 15, we done a training match for like 20 minutes.
How was that?
Oh, like, he chopped me. But I was like 15 at the time, and even then his chop still sucked. But so all I've got on him is I hit the Oz cutter.
So when you're with him, or when you're training with him, do you sort of have to sit back and think, this guy is wrestling Okada one day and then training with you and working with you the next day? Is that something you've sort of go like, he is really one of the best minds in your business? And do you count yourself lucky, or do you think it's something that you've earned by being as good as you are and doing as much as you have at this stage?
No, like, the thing with Will was like, I'd seen it as like complete luck, because the first day I met Will was technically going to be like my last day in wrestling.
Okay.
So I started training when I was like 7, and then I just kept going at it, and training school didn't like. And then I thought, okay, I started training at Knuckle Locks, and then Will was doing a seminar. And I was like, you know what? I'm bored. Like, I'm not going to get anywhere. People have told me I'm not going to get anywhere. So I'll train with Will, because I've seen all these videos. I like this guy's sick. I'll train with him for like one more day, and then I'll leave. And then training with him, he went, oh yeah, you're cool. Oh, cheers, man. Like, I'm not going to stick about, but thanks. He went, what? I was like, yeah, it's my last day. And he like pulled my parents, and he went, don't let him quit. I was like, huh? He went, yeah, like, he's like, do not let him quit. So, right, okay. And then he talked to my parents, and he said to me, like, just carry on, stick what you're doing at, and then like you'll make it. And he went, give it a few years and we'll be wrestling each other. Like, okay, cool. And then probably like a year later, I started training at the London School of Lucha Libre. And then he started coming to that, and that's when he properly started helping me out with stuff.
Wow.
You know, cool.
So you mentioned you started training at 7.
Yeah.
I mean, where, like, the people that were training you, do they not sort of say, can we be doing this? Is it even legal? I don't know.
Oh, the training school. We don't talk about it. So, I don't care. So I started at LDN.
Yeah.
And it was literally like, I done like karate, I played football, done rugby, all really young. I was like, I don't like it. And my mum was like, right, we're getting you to do something in sport. And then it's literally like 30 seconds from my house. They're like the live centre. Like they're still training there now. Like even when it's nights, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go to the gym that night because they're there. And I just turned up and was like, can I start training? And yeah, cool. Start bumping. And like my first trainer was Cara Noir.
Okay.
So he got me bumping. He threw me about, like body slammed me, and like we were doing it on gym mats that like this thick.
Yeah.
And no wonder I'm broken.
So I mean, when obviously you're 17 now, but you've got sort of, I don't want to say 10 years of experience, but you've been in a ring for 10 years. So
Yeah.
do you feel like you've been doing it longer than you have?
Not really.
Okay.
Like, because I feel like for like the past like 2-3 years, that's when I properly started learning.
Yeah.
Because everything else has just kind of been like a mess about in the ring. But like the last couple of years, like I've started picking up on everything and I've started learning like things I never thought of, because like from like 7 to like 15, it was literally just get in, bump. Here's how you do chain. Here's how you do like, I don't know, like a hip toss. Because I've only been doing like the high flying stuff, like probably like 2-3 years now.
Okay.
Like everything else was, I was a chain wrestler. That was it. And then I started watching Will with Ricochet, and I was like, all right, cool, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I think. Okay.
So when was there sort of a specific moment where you thought, all right, this is what I want to do? And then was there a specific moment where you thought, this is a real, not only something I want to do, but something that is feasible for me to be doing? And something that was like made you realise I could really, really be good at this?
I think for me, it was like the first Ospreay Ricochet match.
Okay.
The one that done the New Japan. It was the Super Juniors.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's like these two doing that. That's like, I reckon I could do it, because I'd been doing stupid stuff before. I reckon, right, okay, I think I could do bits like this. And then I done like a gymnastics course with, it's Cara Noir and his girlfriend, and it's called like Reset Lab Fitness or something. I done it there, and then I started doing more and more, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I just done a shooting star out of nowhere, and I was like, okay, this is something I can carry on with. Well, sick. And then like training, like doing stuff with like Paul Robinson and Will. That's when I thought, okay, I can make something out of this.
So are there any sort of, you mentioned sort of some of the high spots you've done. Is there anything you've sort of gone, when you've thought, well, like it's either been told you'll be doing this or get ready to do this, that you sort of think, I don't know if I can do this?
I don't really think before anything.
I think you've got to be like that, though, to do some of the stuff. Like, I mean, when you did the moonsault off the stage at the No Fan Show, I was standing at the back, and it was a bit like, oh God, what's happening here? And I got a bit nervous, and I wasn't the one doing it. But I think you've got to be like that, as you say, just a bit. Don't think about it, otherwise you get in your own head. Yeah,
like people, they afterwards. I think about it, but when I'm like, so say like that moonsault, I look at it as like, right, my feet can go there, and that's fine. I'll flip, and I know I can land a feet. That's all I think about. And then after, I think like, oh, this could have gone wrong. That could have gone wrong. But after a while, I was like, oh, I don't care. It's done. Like, it's over and done with. But like, it has got me into bad things because I don't think. So like, I'll end up doing a corkscrew something and like end up landing on my neck or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the Frontline show in October or the end of September in Nottingham. The one that was back to back with the WrestleGate show, and
Yeah.
then with the WrestleTalk podcast in the middle. I think you wrestled a tag match or something, and I was with Ollie, and we were sat. I think you were selling something, and it looked like you were hurt. And
Oh,
I
the
was,
triple threat.
yeah, I think it was the
Yeah.
first time I'd seen you wrestle, and I was like, he's hurt. And Ollie was like, he's not hurt. I was like, he's hurt. He was like, no. Trust me, he's fine. He's just that good at selling. And I was like, okay, he's that good at selling. And it was, I think, would you say that's one of your strong points, or that people perhaps sleep on, that you're a great seller, or is it?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
because it was me, Malik, and one of my mates, Costa K. We wrestled at London Lucha,
yeah,
and like the whole all the other shows before, like people are constantly getting at me like, you can't do this stuff, you'll get hurt. You can't do this stuff, you'll get hurt. And every time I do it, I'm fine. They still like stayed on me.
yeah.
I went up to Malik and I was like, I can sell really well. He's like, yeah, I know you can. I'm like, all right, cool. Punch me in the face then, and I'm going to pretend like I'm knocked out. Like, what? I went, just trust me. Just punch me in the face, and I'm going to get knocked out. He's like, okay, cool. Match is happening. We're doing all our bits. And I go, now. Like, punches me square in the face, and I just drop. And I'm like, I'm knocked out. I've changed my breathing and everything. And everyone goes, he's hurt. He's actually hurt. Oh, my God. I go upstairs, and I go, got you all. Go back downstairs, finish the match, and everyone goes. And then after match, they all came up to him. We hate you. Like, we genuinely hate you. Like, that's what you get for constantly staying on me.
So is that something you've learned from someone, or just sort of realised it's a good thing to do that sets you apart?
Like, because I started so young, people were so heavy, like, on me. So, like, they'd give me, because, like, people used to act like, oh, I'm this big, strong dude. I can throw anyone. They body slam me. They body slam me like they're trying to body slam like Mark Henry or someone. They're proper throwing me and everything. So like pretty much everything I've taken like really stiff and it's hurt. And then I just kind of remember how it felt and then kind of go back to it.
Okay. So do you think it was an advantage almost training so young? Not so much from this experience standpoint, but from the standpoint of people treating you like you're older, more sort of developed physically. So have you just sort of had to grow up being a bit tougher in the wrestling, like in a ring?
Yeah, like the way I see it is kind of like I haven't had like a normal childhood. So like I felt I've had to grow up quite quick and be like professional, like wrestling and stuff. So like I was in school and when I'd say hello to like the new kid, I try and shake his hand like it's wrestling. I'm like, hey mate, how you doing? You look at me like, why are you trying to shake my hand? Like this is school. But like, yeah, everything's wrestling. Like in between my GCSEs, I was doing like young lion trials for Will. Because it was like a 2-day trial, and like one day it was conditioning. The next day I had to go to school, do a GCSE, and then run to Bethnal Green and do the next day of trials. The day after that was another GCSE.
So is it? I take it was just something that's always in your mind. Something because I've spoken to a few wrestlers who sort of say, "Listen, I'm a wrestler, but once I'm out of the ring, I'll do anything else. I'll spend time with my family, play games, do whatever." They don't want to watch wrestling. But are you sort of obsessed with wrestling? Everything. If you're not wrestling, you're watching wrestling, speaking to wrestlers, or do you sort of like to distance?
Like, I'm always doing something, and then I'll do something new, and they'll be like, "Oh, I could do that in a ring." But everything's just wrestling 24/7. Like, I was in school and I'm like supposed to do work, but I end up drawing stickmen having a match, like stickmen doing a lockup or something.
So who? if you watch sort of on the weekly basis on sort of the big AEW, WWE, NXT shows, you sort of think you want to base your style upon, or for people that might not be familiar with you, who would you say you're most similar to that they might be more familiar with?
I don't know. I don't really watch much NXT.
Okay.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm just bored.
You should. I get slated, but for me, I prefer NXT to AEW.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, not a lot of people do, but I think it's just because I've grown up watching WWE for so long. I'm just in
Yeah.
that mindset. But so, do you watch NXT and do you watch AEW and the Raw and SmackDown shows, or not? Not particularly.
Like I watch AEW, but I'm all about just Japan, like
Okay.
New Japan and everything. Kind of just like DDT, just all of that. It's like I just want Japan.
So that's a goal for you then, I presume. Whereas a lot of people would say that the American promotions are their aim, the Japanese promotions are where you want to be at in the next sort of say 5 years.
Yeah, 100%.
So, right. I mean, when you think about New Japan, one of the first things that comes to mind is how good their tournaments are.
Yeah.
And obviously, best of the Super Juniors. Would that be something you want to get involved in? And
yeah, 100%. That's like the first thing I followed in wrestling, like that tournament, like properly, like kind of like religiously even. So like Super Juniors would be like like they said like once like yeah, I'll drop everything in a heartbeat just to go.
So have you spoken to Will about it and sort of said, listen, what are the steps to get there, or are you just focused on now rather than 2, 3, 4, 5 years in the future?
I said to him, I was like, how old do you have to be to go to Japan? And you got to be 18. I was like, all right, cool. And he's like, if I get there, what is it you do? He went, don't worry about that now. Just learn. Just stay here, learn everything you can, train as hard as you can, and then when it comes to it, then worry about it. Right now, just don't even think about it. Just focus on everything else.
And so, do you set yourself goals in terms of time frame, or are you just very sort of taking Will's advice, just focusing on now doing the sort of British circuit while you can?
Like I don't know. I don't like thinking about, oh, this is my one big goal. This is all I want. I kind of like think of little ones. So like this year I want to, like it'd be little stuff. Like I want more dates with Rev Pro, Progress pre-show again, like as myself. And then after that, be like, right, try and get to York Hall, try and get in the ballroom. And then after that, like wrestle in different countries and then slowly build up to finally maybe going to Japan. So,
obviously you've done pretty much a lot of the shows that I've watched or I've been to, you've been at. So you've wrestled a lot of people. Who is someone that you've wrestled that you've thought, wow, they are perhaps better than you expected them to be, or just amazing that you learn things from that you perhaps didn't think? Like I spoke to JMO, and obviously he's wrestled Pac, and he was like, the thing he learned from Pac was just pacing himself and being able to just, if there's crowd silence, be content with that and just work and play the crowd. So who have you been in the ring with that you've learned something from that perhaps you didn't know before or didn't expect to?
Paul Robinson, that'd be a big one.
Yeah.
Like it was more on like moments, and people hate Paul. And then I was just watching him. I was like, why do people hate you? And then when I was in the ring with him, you just look at him, you think, you're hard. Like you could, like I'm scared right now. The first time I wrestled with Paul, I was terrified. And then
does he hit hard?
No. No. He's the lightest guy I've ever worked.
So from everyone I've spoken to, they've just said he's the nicest guy.
He's lovely. Paul's 100% looked after me. Like I used to be so scared, and then he'd help me if like I didn't get paid from like a promoter. Like one show I was at, I said, "Oh yeah, this guy's not paying me." He went, "Oh okay, cool," and then he helped get that along. He just kind of nudged the promoter a little bit, but nothing bad. He was like, "Hey man, like you haven't paid Callum. Like, what's happening with that?"
Is there a lot of that stuff like that on the indie scene? Where I guess because you are slightly younger, I wouldn't say it's natural, but it's sort of to be expected that I guess promoters might take a bit of an advantage and sort of say, listen, like, we can perhaps get away without paying him.
Yeah, like, because I do so much and because I'm so young, they're like, oh yeah, we want you to do all the flippy stuff, but like we can only give you 20 quid.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll take it just because like I want the experience, and plus some of the stuff I do, I reckon in my head I know you'll have me back. But when you have me back, that's when we'll talk about having it up a little. Because like, this is like Good Wrestling. We've done the No Ring show, and I started doing all the stuff for them. And then I knew, like, after that, like, okay, cool. I know they're gonna have me back because I just done all my flips and everything without a. So let's see how that goes.
So, sort of as you mentioned earlier, having to talk about stuff like negotiations of money at the age of 17 is pretty surreal. Is that something that they don't teach, the out of the ring side of wrestling, and how to sort of deal with the indie promoters? Have you sort of spoken to guys like Will and Paul about that, or is that just like a figure it out as you go along sort of thing?
Yeah, like, I never knew because there was a promotion I was wrestling for. I was getting like a tenner a show, sometimes like a fiver, and then I just didn't have a clue. And then it happened one show. I was like, "Oh, what's your rate?" And I just put a number in, and they went, "Okay, cool, yeah, that's fine." So, all right, okay. And then I spoke to my trainers, and they said, "No, like that's your responsibility. Like whether you want to get paid, that's what you do. But there's a limit because like you're not like a signed contract star that can charge $2,000 for taking a back bump. You're like charge something that's like,
Reasonable.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
Forgot English.
So obviously, sort of talking about, I don't want to talk about money too much, but I spoke to the OGMO, as I mentioned earlier, last week, and he sort of said this whole coronavirus situation and sort of the uncertainty that's come with it in terms of you guys might not be doing dates until September, October time, hopefully sooner. But has it made you sort of think an exclusive deal down the line would be just ideal because you've got that guaranteed income, or do you think this sort of just, he said it's a once in a lifetime thing that the chance of happening again are hopefully so slim that doing indie dates he's content with?
Yeah, like I don't know because like because I like I think with wrestling, for most wrestlers, they're not in it for money. They're doing it because they're loving it. And like
the thing is, though, it is a job.
Yeah.
And I think, like, for people, if you want to get into wrestling, it's very hard to also work a full-time job where you've got that guaranteed income. So obviously, like, I think that, as you say, you can't do it if you're not really into it and passionate about it. But you've also got to think about your back pocket. And like, I think people, like a lot of the guys that re-sign with WWE, people say, why would you re-sign? Like, you're not creatively getting this, getting that. And then you sort of think, no, listen, when stuff like this happens, and then they've got that guaranteed money coming in, whereas the indie guys don't, you think that's probably why a lot of them, if they're creatively not enjoying it, re-sign. So obviously, is that something that you've thought about, or are you just sort of learning as you go along and sort of just wrestling as much as you can, anywhere you can at the moment?
Yeah, like I'll travel anywhere. Like I'll go as much as I can. Like going up to places like Hull and like wrestling them boys is great, but like I haven't thought about anything where it's like contract wise, because you hear so many things where it's like everything's scripted, like everything, to the way you walk, to the way you talk, to the way like you sweat. So it's like I wouldn't want that.
See, do you want to be creatively free, and do you pitch like sort of, obviously now you're your own guy, you can do what you want. Do you think as much about the in-ring side as you do the creative side, the way you walk, the way you talk and stuff like that, or are you just all in-ring at the moment?
It's just like I just like having fun. I just want to wrestle. That's it. I don't want to think about anything else but wrestling. But lately I've been thinking, okay, I need to change certain things up. Like we done a training session with Cara Noir, and we spent like an hour and a half just walking. And at first it was like, why are we walking this way? And he went, like, the way you walk is like the biggest thing, because you could walk from your chest, your shoulders, your knees, your feet. Like, you have to show yourself in a big way, and the way you get to the ring is that walk. So show how you want to show out with that. I was like,
Crazy.
okay.
An hour and a half walking at a training session.
Mate, his mind for wrestling is insane. Like, it's so hard to explain. You just have to see it, because he was like walking, and it was like you pair up, one person stands in front of the other and they walk, and you just copy their walk. Then the front person that was doing the walk stands away, and the other person carries on, and they see how they was walking. So if you're slouched over, if like you're taking long strides, short strides, how your arms are going, what your shoulders are doing, if your head's down or up.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And is that something people take for granted when they watch a show, do you think? Do you just think they see the moves, and they don't like consciously think about the walk and stuff like that? Do you think it's something that subconsciously comes in that people don't realize they pay attention to when they're watching a show?
Yeah, because wrestler comes out, they cheer, and then they just watch. But like, they don't look at what he's doing, I don't think. And then they just kind of get ready. Right, when's the other guy coming out? When's the bell ringing? Now I want to see all the cool moves.
I think it's the people that know and the people that are in the business notice it, which I guess is the important thing.
Yeah, I think when you have the guys above you saying, "Oh, that was good," you think, "Oh, great, like someone's picked up."
So who, obviously, on that note, who is someone that you've either been in the ring with or haven't on the indie scene that you think doesn't get the credit they deserve? Why do you think that might be?
Probably Robbie X.
Okay.
Because he's so good. Like, he moves so well. Everything he does is so slick. But like, I don't know. He's just why he isn't just like everywhere.
Well, I'll tell. Interestingly, a lot of people I've spoken to have said the same thing.
Yeah.
They think as a conception, I think that people in the south of England are better, like, sort of recognised and appreciated than those in the north. And obviously, he focuses a lot of stuff like around the Midlands and the North area.
Yeah.
So, but again, he's one that always comes up when people say, when I ask who's the most underrated, Robbie X. Okay, there's obviously something. If everyone's saying it, there's obviously something that people need to pay attention to. And so, on the note of people, who's someone that you grew up watching that you think, I want to be like them, or that's someone that's really good?
Well, like anyone, or like on the indie scene?
Anyone.
I don't know. Tiger Mask. The first Tiger Mask.
Okay.
Because I remember seeing a cartoon from years ago, and at the end he was like dedicated to Tiger Mask. I was like, this guy's real. I searched it in, and then all the stuff he does is just so smooth. It's like, I want to get everything to be as slick as that.
Yeah. So do you watch old clips of people like him, and then even stuff that Will does? Do you just watch and study?
Yeah, like even like him, like people in my house get really annoyed because I'll put it on the telly, and I'll see something something that I'll be, oh, that's cool, and I'll replay the clip like 20 times, because then I'll watch like where their head goes, how their shoulders are, like how many steps they take, what's their footwork, what the other guy's doing, and it's like, okay, I need to do all of this to do that, and then I just redo it, and then hopefully, and then I'll go in like the ring in my garden and try and practice it. It's like,
so, I mean, that ring in your garden must be. How long have you had that for? Years? Is that a new thing?
for about a year and a half, 2 years.
I was going to say, that thing is, by the end of this lockdown, is going to be battered.
Yeah. Like, I think I've already split like 2 boards. So I've got like a garden chair or the garden sofa thing and kind of stuffed it in. Like, the canvas is gone. The canvas ain't there anymore.
So when you're bumping, you're taking bumps onto just wood.
Yeah, like the mat's like this thin-ish. It's tiny, but then I got a crash mat out there as well. So that kind of helps. But it's like I miss proper bumping. So I'll go out there and do it. I'll take one and just feel my body just go, no, stop it. Stop. Like, I'm like the only wrestler in this lockdown to still get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, that's as you say, you are in a lucky position where you can, if you miss it, just go and run the ropes or flip out and figure out stuff to do. And I think it's will put you in obviously good stead when things get back to normal.
Yeah,
hopefully. And you've at least seen a ring and been in a ring.
Yeah.
It hasn't been months, but who's someone that you want to wrestle that you haven't, that you think once this is all going down, let's do something.
There's like, I think my list is Connor Mills, OJMO, Robbie X. I really want to wrestle Nathan Cruz again. Rampage, because he helped me with the whole scholarship thing. He's always been super nice to me. Rampage is a big one.
Well, what's it been like? What's it obviously been like? Obviously, if you think Will and Rampage, obviously now Will sort of packed on a lot of muscle and is getting obviously transitioning into a heavyweight. But when he wasn't, he was very much a junior heavyweight. And then you've got Rampage, who is probably the best heavyweight in England or Britain at the moment. What's it been like? Obviously, those two just getting a complete different.
Straight away, I was like, I better bulk up. Like, I need to put on more muscle now. It's like, but yeah, it was crazy because with Rampage, he wasn't like, you need to like slow down on flying. He was straight away like, you need to put this here and this here, and like just be more confident in what you do and how you do it. I was like, oh, okay. And everything he done, like he was constantly like, this is good, but you need to be more aggressive here. You need to like amp it up here or slow it down there. Like constantly, like his psychology behind it was sick. Like everything helped.
Yeah, I think people are starting to realise just how good he is. But I won't take too much of your time. I will let you run. We've spoken off camera, but you've got merch coming out relatively soon. Hopefully,
I got a t-shirt. I got 2 t-shirts coming out. One of them is like the design is proper stupid, and the other one design's pretty cool. And then I'm hoping I have like 8x10s and stickers. So
where can people find you on Twitter if they want to keep an eye out for those sort of announcements?
Twitter is Prince of Pace CN, and the CN's in capitals. And Instagram is Callum Newman P.O.P.
Okay.
So, there we go.
I'll remember that to put it in the article. But cheers for your time, Callum.
Nice one, mate. Thanks.
I will hopefully see you soon once this is all sorted out.
Let's hope it's soon. I can't stay in lockdown anymore. I hate my house.
See you, mate.
Take care, man. Thanks.
You too. Bye.